Sorry, everybody. I was just warming up the vocals, you know what I mean? Warming up the pipes, as they say. You guys ever do that? You guys ever just, you know, go... Do you ever do that? Just to kind of like help you out, you know? Warm up the vocals, give you a little bit of range, you know? It gets the people going. What up? What is up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the show. Welcome to your Wednesday. Guys, different kind of stream, but probably going to end up being feeling pretty familiar to many of you. We've got to talk about the absolutely insane amount of reveals, rumors, speculation, leaks, whatever you want to call it, discussion about Wanda Maximoff, about Doctor Strange, and this, honestly, man, I'm really looking forward to this stream, and I think it's going to be a really, really good ass time. And part of the reason is that, look, I know things are weird right now for Marvel, and I have, you know, been vocal about some of the things that I think they're doing wrong. And I think they are doing a lot of things wrong. And there's, you know, content bloat, you know, filler, and just a lot of mixed up priorities when it comes to Marvel. But today's stream and the stuff we're going to discuss today is like why I still have hope, why I still get excited. I think for a lot of folks, they get maybe confused because some of you guys are totally checked out, turned on Marvel, and you get a lot of enjoyment off of like crapping all over Marvel and like preying on their downfall a little bit, right? And then it might be confusing for some of you when like something comes out, a bit of news happens, and I get genuinely excited. And I'm really, really into it. What up, Alex? And this, like what we're going to get into today is like, for me, man, it's the juice. It's what keeps me going. And, you know, I had a tweet the other day. I said, I still love Marvel, and I still see the vision for the multiverse saga, for Secret Wars, and for everything they're going to be doing after that. But we got to stop this filler. All of this kind of unremarkable content that doesn't seem to go anywhere is a big part of the problem. And interestingly, even during that stream where we were talking about this, right? You know, Rob from Comics Explained was in here for a second, and he was we were talking about like Echo and some of these other shows, and I don't know if you guys remember this exactly, but I said the problem, because like we were kind of having like a pseudo conversation back and forth, like me and Rob via the chat, right? And I said the problem is they've got incredible stuff with Shang-Chi 2 and Doctor Strange 3 and Kang Dynasty and all of that stuff. I literally said it. I said Doctor Strange 3, the ideas they have are absolutely incredible for that. But we've got to get there. We've got to like sift through this bullcrap. And the problem, and I think the concern for Marvel, and it's a real concern, like I don't want to downplay how bad things are, because the concern from Marvel is if they don't fix what's going on now, there won't be people to care. I mean, there will be people to care. Like I think we're really talking about the difference between it being as big as Infinity War and Endgame and very excellent, or it being very successful, maybe via Spider-Man No Way Home, but the narrative remaining that Marvel has sort of fallen off, that this was, you know, a rare W or whatever, right? That's really what we're talking about. But as a fan and as somebody that just truly loves what they've done with the MCU, and I truly love and think fondly back to all the experiences I had with the MCU, you know, and that all sort of culminates in Endgame, which was absolutely incredible. One of the coolest experiences I've ever had in a movie theater. Absolutely incredible, right? So, to me, everything we're going to talk about today, that's where the juice is at. That's what I'm excited about. That's what I wish I could just be making content about. It's like where I wish Marvel was just at, and they were just moving ahead with this kind of stuff. This is the stuff that gets me excited, that keeps me a fan, and that has me, in spite of all the stuff that's happening, in spite of the dark times that we are moving through, I remain optimistic and very fucking excited, genuinely very excited about what's happening in the multiverse saga and what's happening in Secret Wars. And this shit is gonna blow. This is really dope stuff. So I'm very happy to be here and to be talking to you guys about this, because we just got a huge reveal about Doctor Strange 3, and we had some big reveals about Wanda before that, so it's time to just get into all that. Now, we will be talking about some spoiler stuff and some leaks and some rumors and some speculation and all that sort of stuff, so consider yourself warned if you don't want any of that kind of stuff. You don't want to be here for this stream, okay? Now, before we get into all that, oh yeah, it is Trev's birthday. Hey, happy birthday to Trev. We can get some happy birthday wishes in the chat for Trev, but just like last year, we're also going to overshadow your birthday with Liam's birthday. So, yeah, so Liam had his first birthday yesterday. I appreciate all the love on social media and just all the well wishes, man. It was really cool. And a lot of you guys, you really are like sort of a second family to us. And so it's just been really cool to sort of experience that and experience, fatherhood, and also be able to share some of that stuff with you guys via the community. It's been really cool. So I appreciate all the love with regards to Liam's birthday. It's going to be awesome, man. We're having a big party this Saturday. A lot of family coming into town. It's going to be a really good time. So that's going to be fun. And very, very exciting. Okay, now, let's get into some show notes, guys. Show notes. Tomorrow, big stream. Big stream. 11 a.m. for the Nerdvengers. Normally, we do that at Tuesdays, but because of the birthday, we pushed it to Thursdays. Big stream tomorrow because I really want to... I want us to fucking do this Kickstarter, man. I want to drop this comic book. I want to get it out there. I still feel like there's a million things that I need to do before we, launch the Kickstarter. But I also feel like there's a part of me that's just like I keep pushing it back because I want it to be perfect. And I'm like, I keep pushing it back. And I'm afraid that I just keep pushing it back, man. So tomorrow I'd like to talk to you guys about that. And I want to launch the Kickstarter on Monday. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. And I think it might be time to just pull some all-nighters, get some of the stuff knocked out, and just get this thing out there, because it is a story I've been working on for 3 years. I'm so excited, not just about like the book, but about the universe, about the building of this new IP and the ability to do that with the community as well, right? Like it's awesome. And so I'm kind of thinking we just got to do it. And we got to kind of just take the leap. You know what I mean? But I want to talk to you guys more about that tomorrow. So we'll talk about that tomorrow on the Nerdvenger stream. And if enough people feel like, yeah, it's the time and like we should just do it, and you guys have like a proper warning to be able to get in on some of the more exclusive, Kickstarter tier stuff, if we're all on the same page, I'm good with it. We can go. And we can go. Okay. Is there anything else going on? Anything else? I can't really think of anything, although I have that pesky sort of like, there's this other thing you wanted to talk about sort of situation, but I can't really remember it. So maybe we just get into all of this. Okay. Warhammer. No, nothing with Warhammer. I'm working on the Custodes video. I'm trying to do a little bit more editing on that before I send it over to Fernie. So yeah, brainstorm some stretch goals. Well, that's what I got. I got the stretch goals listed, but we can talk about it, and I would love some feedback for sure. So maybe we can kind of quarterback it all. You heard this news of Linkin Park Jay-Z collab? Your reaction was great. Somehow I knew deep in my soul Theory didn't know about Collision Course. Yeah, but I didn't know about Reanimation. So we were both kind of sleeping on some good stuff there. Okay. Let's get into this, man. Let's get into this, Let's do this. And then maybe yeah. Let's just get into it. We'll do more stuff tomorrow. Okay. So how many of you guys have seen the new reports about the Scarlet Witch and about Doctor Strange? These are both coming from the Cosmic Circus. Alex Perez over there, who I think has pretty good sources, and we've been talking about a lot. I'm fucking hyped. Let's go. Hell yeah, brother. How many? How many of you guys? Yeah, throw one in the chat. Let me know. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we're going to sort of TLDR it, though, because I do want to go over what's in the reports. I've done videos on both of them, and I'm going to do more videos. I've got to, sit down and, think of how... I have so much going on in my brain, and part of what's happening in this stream is I kind of want to just get it out there and talk through it with you guys so that I can, isolate down, okay, that's a good video idea, let's explain it that way, et cetera, et cetera. But, before we get into all of that, I do just want to say, as sort of a precursor, because a lot of this is going to be speculation, right? But I will say, and I do just want to point out, that we've sort of had the inside track on this stuff for a while, and I know some of you guys were literally around during the time of, Endgame. And us talking about Endgame and whatnot, and I remember saying... right after I saw Steve Rogers get on that time platform with Mjolnir and all of the Infinity Stones in a convenient suitcase, for some reason, guys, from that point on, I knew they were going to do Secret Wars. There was something about that moment and watching Steve Rogers get on that platform that I said... wow, what a perfect thing for him to just pop out on Battle World via Secret Wars. And there was something about Infinity War and Endgame and my just disbelief that they got out of that thing clean, right? I remember thinking after watching Endgame, wow, what a great ending, but also... there's no way that won't have massive ramifications. That seems like a hack job of time travel, if I'm being honest. That's amateur hour shit when it comes to time travel. And then I remember basically, one of the other moments that really codified the whole thing for me was, having some conversations with Charles Murphy. And I even did a podcast with Charles Murphy. This was a long time ago, man. How many of you guys remember the podcast we did with Charles Murphy? It was like a stream. It was a stream, but how many of you guys remember that? That was years ago. I don't think Charles does a lot of podcasts anymore. And he kind of admitted in that stream that Secret Wars was next and that, honestly, Feige probably had it planned for 2024. And I remember at the time, people were like, that's crazy. That doesn't even make sense. Why? How could you even do Secret Wars that fast in 2024? And my explanation for that, and I think this was the explanation that they were going to go with, is they wanted, this is what's so ironic about this. They wanted the sort of nostalgia for the Avengers you just watched go through the Infinity Saga, Cap, Tony, etc. They wanted to grab up the nostalgia of Fox characters like Hugh Jackman, Halle Berry, Femke Jen, all of these people, Toby, Andrew. And what he wanted to do was probably the only thing that just from a producer standpoint would be able to eclipse something like Endgame, and that would be going back in time, grabbing these characters out of other Marvel franchises from the past and mushing them all together. And it is a pretty dope idea. Just from a producing perspective, that doesn't just pass the smell test. That's a phenomenal fucking idea. That's... honestly, bro, that's just gonna make bajillions of dollars regardless. Literally regardless of what bullcrap they do in the next couple of years. Literally, regardless of how they figure out how all these characters are going to get in there, you could do a pretty shit job on Secret Wars, and I still think, just off nostalgia alone, it's going to absolutely dominate in the box office. Like just like Barbie. Like a lot of people say, well, yeah, Barbie, one of the most iconic toy brands ever, the first actual great produced movie that, you know, whatever, it was going to do well regardless of messaging, how effective it is as a narrative, etc. I feel the same way about like that idea for Secret Wars. That is a home run idea, right? But obviously, shit didn't go according to plan. Lots of things went wrong. You know, we just went over the Screen Crush video the other day where Ryan Airy was sort of talking about the death of the MCU. And you know, he and I agree on a lot of the issues that faced Marvel. And that time period of like, you know, losing Chad. Sony not playing nice with Tom Holland. Just the pandemic and that craziness and those delays. All of those issues together really set things back, right? And now we're looking at a scenario where Secret Wars itself feels pretty far off. But strangely, I think we're about to get a ton of content that a lot of you would have felt as though you were cheated out of if Feige just did Secret Wars in 2024. Like, I want to say that again. I want you to lean in, motherfucker. I think we are about to get a ton of content that you, Marvel fan, would have felt cheated out of had Feige's original plan went through and he did Secret Wars in 2024. Because I think Secret Wars in 2024 would have just essentially been a cameo fest craziness loosely pulled together through the thread of Kang. And I'm sure it still would have been fun, but it wouldn't have had a lot of substance. You know what I mean? And I think at some point, I mean, I don't know. I don't have like people in the fucking boardrooms over at Marvel Studios. I'm speculating here, but I believe at one point they realized they needed to like develop this and like actually put some stuff out there. It could have always been sort of the plan, but then like if you're going to do all of that in 2024, I feel things would have had to just move a lot faster because Multiverse of Madness, especially according to these new reveals, will prove itself to be one of the most important movies in Marvel's entire catalog, especially when it comes to Secret Wars and I think Eternity Wars as well. So that's kind of weird and also good that we are going to get there. And last thing on all of that before we get into the juice. I lit up when I watched Multiverse of Madness and Reed Richards said the word incursions. And I remember even before we watched the film, it started to leak out that incursions were mentioned in the movie and they were a big fucking deal. Okay? And I know for some of you guys, you don't love Multiverse of Madness. Some of you even hate Multiverse of Madness. Throw a 1 into the chat if you hate the Multiverse of Madness. Just curious where we're at with that. But I want to further explain and really drill down on why I freaked the fuck out when incursions were mentioned. Chat, find them. Find the ones. Everybody putting a 1 into the chat. You must find them. Destroy them. Get them out of the tower. Eliminate them. Banned for life. Okay. I've been reading comics a long time. Like most comic book fans, I've gone away from comics. I've come back to comics, you know? The Jonathan Hickman Time Runs Out run of Avengers, New Avengers, leading in to his Secret Wars is the greatest comic book story ever told. I'm going to say it. Rob has said that shit before. I've always been a little hesitant to give it that. I will always admit that it's my favorite story. It's my favorite times in all of comic books. But the more I think about it, the more I think, yeah, Rob's probably right. That's the greatest comic book story ever told. Ever told. Years and years and years of slow burn, massive reveals, incredible character stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, and this is, I'm kind of talking about some shit that's like, when you really think about it, you'd be like, oh boy, you know, get a little nervous about the MCU version. I mean, this is essentially a book about Reed and Doom, and they don't even play that big of a role in the actual Avengers shit leading up to it. I mean, Reed does via the new Avengers and, you know, being in the Illuminati, etc. But like the story, the reason I think that the Secret Wars culmination of all that shit really hits is because it's ultimately like, it's about Reed and Doom. You know what I mean? And their flaws, both of their flaws are the reason we're in this situation. You know what I mean? It's very, very good. But I think it needs to be said that, like, it is the greatest comic book story ever told. And so when incursions get mentioned in Doctor Strange, and when I, who had just read that incredible storyline going into Endgame and Infinity War, right? Because that's around the time when it was wrapping up. When I saw Steve Rogers get on that platform, when I talked to Charles Murphy about Secret Wars, and then when I hear incursions in Multiverse of Madness, I can't help but think Feige, being the nerd that he is, also having read the greatest comic book story ever told, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. He's going to adapt the greatest comic book story ever told. And he's also going to work into that, bringing back iconic versions of Marvel characters from past franchises that we all loved. It is literally a perfect combination. And I can't fucking wait. Okay, now, with the stage set, let's get into the news. First, let's start with the Scarlet Witch, and perhaps we should just pull up these articles. Maybe that's the move. Let me get this shit pulled out here, B. Hang on a second here, B. Let's get into these articles, man. The Wanda one, I want to just go over kind of quickly. I still, like, there are some questions for me about Wanda. You know? Because I feel like Wanda's really important to this. I feel like she's probably the Molecule Man. But also, this new stuff about Doctor Strange is really curious. And I'm like, man, I wonder, like, is he the Molecule Man in this scenario? It's weird, right? Bro, please don't say anything that will duck up my theory vid. I don't know, bro. I think we have Wanda all figured out. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. So, huge mystery. What's going on with Wanda in the future of the MCU? Is she in Deadpool 3? Is she not in Deadpool 3? Is she alive? Is she not alive? Will she be in Agatha? Etc., etc. A lot of questions. Okay, so here's what they say in the article. Let's start by addressing the biggest elephant in the room. Did Wanda survive the events of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness? The simple answer is yes. Our Wanda is still alive in the main 616 universe. The next question that follows is, where is she? Some speculate she's hidden in the rubble of Wundagore Mountain, while others have pointed out her spirit hiding out in the multiverse. Here's what we've been told. Sources have informed us that Wanda is currently in a dormant state at the end of the Witch's Road. The Witch's Road is an alternate dimension within the borders of the known universe, similar to that of the Mirror Dimension or the Dark Dimension. Very interesting, okay? Now, Witch's Road rumors have been swirling for some time. Apparently, that's another, like, maybe special presentation, maybe its own Disney Plus show. I'm still a little bit like, which one is it going to be? But the Witch's Road is apparently a special that is going to come out that will talk about that dimension, what it means, etc., right? You know, to be honest, I'm less interested in having this all explained via a ton of different spin-offs and special this, bullshit, that. I would much prefer us to just get the Wanda Maximoff's next movie, or just have her pop up in another movie and it to be significant. Regardless, they've got plans for Wanda, man. And 616 is here, or 616 Wanda is alive, and I think is going to be a big deal for the multiverse. But it also just feels like they're kind of dicking around with that, and, I don't know exactly what that means or when, they're going to pay that off and explain it. Now, another thing that they talk about in here is the idea of doing an actual Wanda project, which is probably going to have elements of Children's Crusade. Okay, again, cool idea, but as I've said to you guys many times, the problem with adapting Children's Crusade in the MCU currently is there's no Doctor Doom, there's no Magneto, so who gives a shit? The Children's Crusade was only cool because it took the characters through, like, the wider Marvel universe and all of the conflicts that were already established that have been around for years and years and years in Marvel Comics. Without that, I don't care, frankly. So maybe they are trying to set some of that stuff up. Maybe they're trying to set a version of this up because I feel like, and I'm sure many of you agree, Marvel or FEIGE, they want to do something with the Young Avengers. Is that not obvious? Yes or no, chat? Is it not obvious that they want to do stuff with the Young Avengers? Focus, stay hype. Oh, we're going to get to the hype shit. We got to get through this Wanda stuff for now. Yeah, it's obvious. They're doing the Young Avengers. Now, I believe that's all going to lead to a young variant of Kang. And there are some leaks that came out recently. They're a little bit questionable about, like, Wanda is actually going to be controlled by Kang in the Kang Dynasty, and she'll be on Kang's side, okay? Still don't know 100% if that's real or not. It's rumor. There's rumor that there will be a young Kang that will be in Kang Dynasty, and it'll be like a big part of the story, but he's not going to actually be Iron Lad. Okay, again, a little unclear. I think there's truth there. I just don't know if the ideas are developed enough over at Marvel for any of this to be considered accurate. They could change it all. Okay? But regardless of that, Wanda appears to be very important to the multiverse and what they're doing with Secret Wars. A couple of different things. Wanda being a Nexus being. That is going to get paid off. We don't know what that means exactly, but it's going to get paid off. Wanda being a reality warper. Going to be paid off. Very important. Feels similar to the Molecule Man in that comic book event. Again, the greatest comic book story ever told, right? The other thing when it comes to Wanda, big rumor here that will likely be paid off. Apparently, a Kang variant is the person that wrote the prophecy of the Scarlet Witch within the Darkhold. And that feels really important. Still not 100% sure how that plays into everything. Okay? Now, real quick, I want to talk about a couple of other things going on in here. Wanda variants. We're going to get Wanda in a lot of the other animated stuff. Wanda from 838 is supposed to be in Deadpool 3. I think she's going to be a big part of that, a big part of Deadpool 3. And perhaps they'll even explain a little bit more about her and the significance she has via the multiverse. Okay. That is literally all I want to say about the Scarlet Witch because I'm just not sure what's going on with all of that. And by the way, really weird story that came out just today. I'm just going to throw this out there. I don't know if it necessarily means anything, okay? Wait, what the fuck? Marvel is releasing an official timeline book. And they removed Wanda from it. From the cover. I don't know what it means. But they took her off the cover. So, it could just be a marketing thing. It could just be like a little bit of, let's not do MCU every single time, all the time. I don't know. But yeah, they did remove her from the cover of that book. It's really interesting. I don't know if it means anything, but it's like, maybe they're like, you know what? Nah, with the Scarlet Witch. Let's just do Doc Strange instead. I don't know. But this is where it gets juicy, baby. This is where I start to get really excited, okay? Now, Multiverse of Madness. Post-credit scene of Multiverse of Madness. Doctor Strange is recruited by Clea. And we don't really know what the deal is with that. She just explains, you've caused an incursion. You're going to help me fix it. And he's like, let's go. According to the Cosmic Circus, Marvel wants to adapt elements of Time Runs Out comic event for Doctor Strange 3. The film would pick up right where we left off in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, where Clea traveled from another dimension to seek out Doctor Strange for his aid in fixing the incursion that he caused. From what we've been told, Strange has been sought out by a multiversal organization called the Black Priests. Oh my fucking God. We'll explain that in just a second. According to our sources, Clea is a member of this organization. What? The Black Priest headquarters will be in nothing space of destroyed universes, which exist within the space of two dead universes caused by an incursion. This will likely look very similar to where we visit Sinister Strange in Multiverse of Madness, where everything's falling apart, likely after an incursion. Okay? So their literal base, the Black Priest, is going to be set up in the dead space of two universes. Unbelievable. Which exists in space, blah, 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 blah. It will be revealed in the film that the multiverse is dying. The cause of this decay is a result of the incursions happening all across the multiverse. The most recent being the one caused by Doctor Strange of 616. The film will also elaborate on a point made in the previous movie regarding Doctor Strange and his threat to the multiverse. It was made clear through Christine Palmer's research and, even though they don't say it in the article, Reed Richards. Unless I'm mistaken, Reed Richards deadass tells Steven to his face, the most dangerous threat to the multiverse is you. Right? So, Christine Palmer, the Steven of her own universe was destroyed. They killed, and if you thought 838 was the good guys, you were wrong. They literally killed the Steven of their universe. She knows that. She literally knows that. They told her. You know? So, Doctor Strange is the most dangerous threat to the multiverse. That will be paid off in Doctor Strange 3, but in what way? The upcoming sequel will explain Steven is a threat to the multiverse by establishing him as a common denominator when it comes to incursions across the multiverse, aside from the main danger of the Council of Kangs. While it will be confirmed that the main reason for the decay of the multiverse is due to the incursions being caused by the Council of Kangs, it is unknown at this time if the film will feature a Kang variant or if the film will flat out confirm that the source of the decay is, or what the source of the decay is. Our sources have told us the film will serve as a direct preamble to the upcoming Avengers movies, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, time runs out. Yeah, totally. Makes a lot of sense. To be the precursor to these films. I actually personally feel that it's actually the precursor to the Secret Wars movies. That it's actually possible that, like, Steven himself isn't even going to be in Kang Dynasty, or not in Kang Dynasty a lot. And I'll explain why later, but yeah, so this is crazy. Okay, so let's break down what this means. Let's break this down. And first, let's talk about these dudes. The Black Priests, okay? Which, like, come on, man. Okay, hang on. Let me find a better picture. I got a better picture here. I got better pictures. Hopefully this one plays. It's still the same size. What the fuck? What about this one? What the fuck? What about this one? What the fuck? Why can't we get, like, actual pictures of these dudes? Holy shit. Okay, well, let's just zoom in on this. Yeah, man. Okay, let's talk about the Black Priest. So, essentially, guys, this all comes from that comic book story I was talking about, the greatest comic book story ever told. Time runs out. Avengers, New Avengers, leading into Secret Wars. So, let's sort of TLDR that and then get into further speculation of what's going on in the MCU, because it's important to kind of get everything together. So, the multiverse. Y'all heard about this multiverse thing? Well, in Marvel Comics, Doctor Doom discovers something really weird about the multiverse and something really weird about Owen Reese, okay? And essentially what he discovers is that Owen Reese, the Molecule Man, is a bomb. He's a bomb that the Beyonders, and I don't think he knew it was the Beyonders at this point, but he might have. I'm a little fuzzy on that. But regardless, Doctor Doom discovers that Owen Reese is a failsafe and a bomb that the Beyonders could just set off and destroy the entire multiverse at once, okay? So essentially here, the lore at the time was saying that the entire multiverse was essentially an experiment by the Beyonders, and they wanted to have the ability to kill the experiment whenever they wanted, which, by the way, and I don't want to linger on this, but if you've been following this UFO stuff and you know what Tom DeLonge is talking about, fucking creepy, weird, creepy that could actually be the reality that we're in. Okay, regardless, the entire multiverse could get blown up. That's the Beyonders' plan A. Okay? Well, Doctor Doom, being the absolute genius that he is, but also, you know, kind of fucking up, goes back in time. He goes into a different universe, and then he goes back in time, and he destroys Owen Reese. And the reason he does this is so that in the present, the Beyonders cannot just blow up the entire multiverse. Okay? And what this does, though, is force the Beyonders' plan B. Beyonders' plan B is to start destroying the multiverse via incursions. Now, we've talked about incursions before, but I want to kind of just really, like, you know, dive into what this actually means. So essentially, the universes all begin colliding. The focal point where they collide is Earth. Likely similar logic to having Owen Reese on Earth. Earth just seems to be the significant planet. It's where they all meet, okay? So, what you have happening is Earths colliding. If one of the Earths is destroyed, the incursion stops. It doesn't permanently stop because the entire multiverse is shrinking, and therefore even universes that aren't colliding via Earth are being destroyed, but it stops this 8-hour timer. So when an incursion begins, and I'm really curious if this is something they establish in the Marvels, because there's apparently an incursion in the Marvels. And I wonder if we're going to get the 8-hour timer. I wonder if that's going to be a thing, because that was a thing in Jonathan Hickman's thing. There's a great issue, by the way. Oh, man, there's a great issue where the Illuminati of 616 realize they don't have it in them to destroy another Earth. They can't kill billions of lives. They don't have it in them. And so they reserve themselves to letting the next incursion destroy them. And it begins, and then the whole issue is an 8-hour countdown, and all of them are just visiting their loved ones, having fun, chilling, dreading what's going to happen. Oh, it's a great issue. And then at the end of it, nothing happens, and it's revealed that fucking Namor went around and grabbed up the Cabal, and he's out there raising worlds, destroying Earths to try to preserve the multiverse. Oh, great issue. But let's take it a step back. Let's go back to what we're talking about. If you destroy one of the Earths, that 8-hour timer stops, and you save yourself time. Okay? So, because of that, many, many different groups throughout the multiverse begin destroying Earths. Crazy. But they're doing it to try to save the multiverse. And among those groups were the Black Swans, led by Rabam Allah, the Great Destroyer, who we later find out is Doctor Doom, who basically like went back in time, found the Black Swans, created that organization and went out there and was destroying worlds and gathering up Owen Reese's. There was a group known as the Map Makers, okay? And the Map Makers ended up being these things known as the Builders, who are like one of the first actual beings in the multiverse, and I believe they come from slip space or the space in between multiverses. There was a group known as the Black Priests, who actually destroyed the Black Swan's homeworld, it's revealed. Really interesting. There were the Ivory Kings, who turned out to actually just be the Beyonders themselves. And there were the Illuminati of 616 and a lot of other Illuminatis throughout the multiverse that were all playing what was known as the Game of Worlds. Okay? And the Game of Worlds is all about destroying Earths to have your universe survive. Okay? And the Black Priests, really interesting characters. They had a really weird form of magic where they could like utter these words and these like symbols, and those symbols would adjust reality. It was like a reality warping magic. It was really crazy. At the end of this whole big run, it is revealed that Doctor Strange of 616 is the leader of the Black Priests. So this whole time, when the Illuminati thought that they were just working with Steven, doing their thing, you know, whatever, the whole time, Steven's out there playing the Game of Worlds on his own. This whole time, Doctor Doom is out there playing the Game of Worlds on his own. And it was dope. And by the way, those two guys are basically the last two beings left in the entire multiverse except for Owen Reese. And at the end of everything, those two guys, Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom, destroy all the Beyonders via Doctor Doom's plan. And then together, they grab up what's left of the multiverse and they create Battleworld. And the weird thing is, it's revealed in the Secret Wars book that Doctor Doom would have shared the power with Steven. Like this godlike power of the Beyonders, he would have shared with Steven. And I mean, come on, how could you not? Both y'all figured that shit out and you were way ahead of the game. And you're the last two motherfuckers around, of course. And by the way, Doctor Strange, Doctor Doom always had a kind of fun relationship. There's a moment in comics where Doctor Doom goes to a tournament for sorcerers, and he beats everybody and could have become the Sorcerer Supreme, and instead just says, I did all of this just so you would owe me a favor, Stephen Strange. And Stephen's literally like, bro, you literally could have just fucking asked. Why did you do all this and make me think you were going to try to become the Sorcerer Supreme and all this shit? And Doom's just like, because Doom doesn't just ask. And you're like, fuck. It's real shit. And then they team up, go to hell, and beat Mephisto's ass. Like a couple of bros. It's fucking awesome. So they have a history, basically, okay? But Steven doesn't want the power. Steven's like, nah, man. That's all you, Victor. You know? It's crazy. So anyway, like, again, the greatest comic story ever told, right? But taking it back to the Black Priests, taking it back to Doctor Strange 3, taking it back to the MCU, how does this work within Marvel? Because we already know they're not going to do a one-to-one. They're going to change it up. They're not going to make a direct copy of what Hickman did, but they love doing Hickman stuff, man. They really do. So the Black Priest in Doctor Strange 3. Can we dig into this a little bit? How's this going to work? And why is Clea working for the Black Priest? And why is Steven the common denominator of all of these different incursions? You know? Is it just his nature? You know, is it destiny? I think the Multiverse of Madness movie, as much as, again, people don't get the movie or don't think it's as good as it is, and they're all wrong, and I'm going to have to do a whole video on that now because y'all's wrong, bro. One of the things they explore in that film is Steven from 616 development via seeing the flaws of his variants. My man literally stares at a dead body that's his. Like the beginning of the movie. Talk about a shell shock. And then it's revealed through the course of the narrative that, like, 616 Steven is different than a lot of his variants. He's similar, but he's different. Because he ultimately decides to try to save America, you know what I mean? And not the United States, but America Chavez. He's different. But he's still kind of the same because he uses the Darkhold at the end of the day either way, right? He still thinks he can, like, have the power. And what's interesting is, like, we've sort of been seeing this play out in Marvel for a long, long time. Remember back, guys, to the Doctor Strange episode of What If. What If is pretty hit or miss. You know, What If has some great episodes. The ending, I think, is very strong. But it had some weird ones. It was a little all over the place. But think back to that Doctor Strange episode, and I remember stories coming out about how that episode in particular, Feige was heavily involved with. Do you guys remember going over those stories? Feige was heavily involved in that exact episode with Doctor Strange. And that Doctor Strange, not understanding the limitations of the multiverse, really not understanding the limitations of eternity, destroys his own universe, right? He destroys his own universe by trying to change a fixed moment in time, something that was supposed to happen. And I think the death of that universe, which we first were like, oh shit, that's like an incursion. I don't think that's what it is. I think it's a little bit more like the sort of fraying that you get in that Quantum Mania Paradox Nexus bullshit thing. And then also presumably in Loki season 2, right? But regardless of that, regardless of like the finer details, we were introduced to the idea of Steven destroying his own universe like a while back, right? We meet many different variants in Multiverse of Madness, and a lot of them are all destroying their own universes. Do you guys remember and I'm going to try to look this up. Do you guys remember the concept art for Multiverse of Madness with all the different Stephen Stranges dead in the desert? Let's see if we can find this. Y'all seen this? Bruh. Look at some of this concept art. Look at all those dead Stephen Stranges. Make sure you guys can see that properly. Look at all those dead Stephen Stranges. Huh? And you remember all the dreams he was having? And do you remember how it is explained that he's having these dreams, these nightmares, because his variants are dying in the multiverse? Yeah. So, why is Clea as a member of the Black Priest, recruiting 616 Steven to help her stop an incursion that he caused. But you know what I think's going on? And I kind of put this in the video from yesterday a little bit. Because she is working for a different Steven. Very likely the case, yeah. Very likely the case. That's probably, I think, the most likely scenario, right? That's probably the most likely scenario. But what if it is 616 Steven, man? Now, I'm not saying they're going to do this exactly, but I want to bring up something kind of interesting that happened in comics a couple of years ago. There was an event called The Death of Stephen Strange in Marvel Comics, okay? And one of the things they did in that book that I thought was actually pretty cool was Stephen dies, but then a younger Stephen appears. And it's revealed that Stephen himself took some of his own life, like about 10 years of his life, and this was a long time ago. He took like some of his own lifetime, and he kind of created like a proxy. Like took himself out of time and held that version of himself in stasis until such time that he was killed. So that when he was killed, this sort of stored time, his stored lifetime, would come back as a character and interact with other characters to discover who killed him. Okay? By the way, Clea, big part of that story as well. Right? Yeah, Fergie, you remember we read that. Yeah. So is it possible that Steven, either in the future, like the actual 616 Steven in the future, or a version of himself, like maybe he grabs up part of his own time and his own life, and separate from him existing in 616, he has like a shadow self that is out there like playing the game of worlds and like is in charge of all the Black Priests. Wow, dude, that would be fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Like Voldemort, a little bit like Voldemort. Yeah, it's a little bit like a Horcrux, except it's like, it's more like just, okay, so, how do I explain this? Okay, we're going to go into Dragon Ball a little bit. This is maybe one of the nerdiest streams we've done ever, okay? But let's go Dragon Ball a little bit, okay? There was something that happened recently in the Dragon Ball Super manga where there was a character that wanted to be the most powerful being in the universe, even more powerful than Goku, okay? Now, the cost of that, because it like the dragon can only like do things that are like possible. So the person, he's like, I can do that, but it'll cost you basically the rest of your life. So you'll have your lifespan and the future of your life will be reduced down to a year. You'll live for only a year more. But if you do that, I will grant you this power and give you that much power and ability, right? So he takes, like, his remaining life is an exchange for that power. So it's almost like Doctor Strange could take a portion of his life and instead of offering it up as for like an exchange, he just like saves it for a rainy day. And then after he dies, that time of his life that he already like took off is still there. Does that make sense? Or did I just confuse us even more? It's comics, man. It's fucking comics. Like, shit gets weird. So there's a lot of different ways that they could do this. But regardless, the main point and the main thing to take away here is this is the game of worlds. Okay, so let's just talk straight facts when it comes to the MCU. The multiverse is dying. Incursions are happening. It's also possible universes are being destroyed without incursions, like what we saw in the Doctor Strange episode of What If. Because this is happening, there are people within the multiverse of Marvel that are playing the game of worlds. It's Julius. It's exactly like Julius in Black Clover. Oh my God, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Same thing that Julius does in Black Clover. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So who do we know is playing the Game of Worlds right now? Okay. Who do we know that's playing? The 838 Illuminati. Right? Especially with what will be revealed in the Marvels and what will be revealed in Deadpool 3. And the fact that Miss Minutes is working with the 838 universe. What? What does that mean? What the fuck? So you got 838 Illuminati. You've got the Council of Kangs. Duh. They think they can control all this shit, right? They're just watching over it all. The Council of Kangs is obviously playing the Game of Worlds. Wanda. Is Wanda playing the Game of Worlds? I'm not sure if she is, man. I mean, I think she's an important piece on the table, but I just don't know that she's independently playing the Game of Worlds. Her motivations seem to be, personal, and therefore she's being manipulated, right? The Black Priests. According to the new reports, the Black Priests are playing the Game of Worlds. They are literally a multiversal organization with a headquarters in the dead space between two dead universes. They're going around trying to stop the incursions. Well, how do you think they're trying to stop the incursions, bruh? They're destroying Earths. They're destroying worlds. She will through Kang. Likely. We just don't know. And that rumor is like rumor. That 4chan leak, I loved it. I'm hyped about it. But let's be real. Not sure. Very possible. I think it's real. I want to believe. But I'm just not sure. The Guardians of the Multiverse. They are playing the Game of Worlds. Apparently, Uatu from Guardians of the Multiverse, which is the What If show. Apparently, he's also going to have some kind of an appearance in Deadpool 3. And What If Season 2, very likely to explore that and potentially even set up like a new thing for them. Is Miss Minutes actually a Beyonder? That's a great question. That's a whole nother video, bro. I don't know. Maybe. Miguel's Spider People. Across the Spider-Verse, man, it's more than just one of the best comic book movies of all time. It's also really important to the Marvel multiverse. They actually got notes from Kevin Feige. It's not a mistake that when Miguel shows us the web of life and destiny, the first thing we see is a branching timeline that looks just like it came out of Loki season 1. Okay? So they're playing the Game of Worlds. They're protecting canon events, perhaps fixed moments in time, so that the multiverse doesn't become destroyed via that, right? So you've got different organizations that we now know are playing the Game of Worlds. The question that next is, who else is playing the Game of Worlds? And this is where it gets really fucking exciting, okay? Now, first up, let's talk about Doctor Doom. Bruh, many of us, I feel very strongly that it would be absolutely absurd to not have Doctor Doom be a big part of the multiversal war. Like, unless you explain why Victor was taken out of this situation, I don't see how you can do the multiversal war without Doctor Doom. He is an incredibly important part of this. An incredibly important part of this. Now, recently it was rumored, and nobody's really sure. Like, a lot of people are shutting this rumor down, but who knows for sure, because I think they originally absolutely wanted Doctor Doom from the early 2000s to be in Multiverse of Madness, right? The Nip Tuck guy. What's his name? You guys are better with the names. That guy is Doctor Doom. It's rumored that he will be a part of Multiverse of Madness. Who knows? It's also rumored that Doctor Doom will not be the villain of the Fantastic Four movie, but he will be established in a post-credit scene. Julian McMahon. Yes, that's the guy. So if the Fantastic Four is such a big deal for Marvel, and if Doctor Doom is going to be set up in a post-credit scene for that, and we now know that we're very likely to get Shang-Chi 2 and Doctor Strange 3 before the Kang Dynasty, we've got some stuff going on that could potentially involve Doctor Doom or a Council of Dooms or something like that, right? So we don't really know, but like, I just think it would be crazy to do Time Runs Out without Doctor Doom. I still can't quite understand like how you do that, right? So I'm hoping that you've got Doctor Doom in there and he's doing something like that. The next one that could be really interesting would be the Council of Reeds. Also an interesting possibility, Council of Reeds, some Franklin shenanigans, who knows for sure. But that idea, the Council of Reeds being a big player in the Game of Worlds, I would really like that. You know, I think that would be really cool. And either way, I hope, and I think most of you guys hope as well, like, the Fantastic Four can't have a movie and then not be involved in Secret Wars. Like, what are we doing here? They have to be a part of it. So I hope and I think there could be connections via Reed, Council of Reeds, to what's going on in the multiverse playing the Game of Worlds. Another group is the Cabal. Now, this one I think is probably more likely than Doom and Reed. I think the Cabal is a pretty obvious move from the perspective of Marvel. And we've even heard things like maybe Magneto. Like, what if Ian McKellen's Magneto, right? Who is said to be in charge of the Illuminati in 838. Okay? What if they take another L in Deadpool 3? They're trying to work with Miss Minutes, which we still don't fully understand. And then what if, like, Kang comes to him and is like, I want you to join a different team, and together we can truly seek vengeance. And then, like, you've got a Thanos variant, you know? You've got a Namor variant who they've already established. You know, you've got maybe even an Ultron variant. And you formulate the Cabal, and they're out there raising worlds. I think that would be incredible. And I also think it would be a super big deal for Secret Wars, but also Battle World. I mean, going back to, like, the shooter version of Secret Wars, one of the big draws was good guys versus bad guys. Dope Marvel villains versus dope Marvel heroes. And we know they're paying Shooter because they are adapting elements of his Secret Wars for the MCU version. So I think you got to have the Cabal in some way, shape, or form. You have to have the Cabal. So I think that's probably what's going to happen. And the way I think this all goes down is a crazy culmination of these things in the Kang Dynasty. And then sort of going into Secret Wars itself, these different groups will play a big role. You see, part of the fun of Secret Wars is seeing how our heroes and our villains then work in a completely different setting, disconnected from every other part of their own universe, right? And I think that's a part of the juice. So I think, like, from what we know about Kang Dynasty, it seems like it's going to be the Council of Kangs, basically just the three main variants, Ramatut, the Centurion, and Immortus. And you're going to see like our Avengers fighting against all of those variants, maybe even across time to try to like save Earth. And while I think they might defeat the Council, it doesn't matter because Big Daddy Kang that was killed in Quantumania is going to be coming back as the Beyonder or with powers of the Beyonder, and then that's going to destroy everything and set up Secret Wars. But what I personally think is going to happen is they're setting up the Game of Worlds. I think Shang-Chi 2 actually sets up Kang Dynasty more than Doctor Strange 3 does. And I think Doctor Strange 3 is going to set up threads that are very important for Secret Wars. Right? But again, a lot of this is just speculation, and we're kind of just trying to look at all the evidence that we have. But guys, like, this is some absolute fire, bruh. Like, this is incredible stuff, and the possibilities are absolutely dope. I'm not excited for Agatha Coven of Who Gives a Fuck. I'm not into Echo. I don't care about the Marvels, really, beyond the Incursion. But this shit, the greatest comic book story ever told, and those threads being adapted with Fox characters, with Sony characters, my God. That is an exciting prospect. So, I guess I can just kind of leave the speculation and the news there. And we could see, like, what do y'all think about this, man? Like, what do you think? And also, like, what the fuck's going on with my glasses? Oh, it's just like some sweat, some fog or something. What the fuck? That was on my glasses the whole time? Nobody told me? Thanks. Thanks. You said something? Ah, shit. Is the class still paying attention? Yeah, are you guys still paying attention? Yo, you doing call-ins Friday? Because I have one piece that might bring it all together. I think I will do call-ins on Friday, probably, yeah. But why don't you just share the thing right now? Or at least give us a hint. Golly. I fell asleep? My God. Not having Doom in the Multiverse Saga is the biggest travesty that Marvel has ever done. I don't know if it's the biggest, but it'd be up there for me. I mean, let's say he's taking the mentality that he's taking with the X-Men. Okay? Let's say that he's doing that. What he's doing with the X-Men is giving major fucking play to the old cast of X-Men. You know, they're going to be back in Deadpool 3, but they're also going to be back for Secret Wars. Maybe even Secret Wars Part 2. Oh, we didn't even talk about Eternity War. Oh my God. We might have to do a whole nother stream. Look, I've got a hair appointment in an hour. Okay, so I don't have all the time today. I apologize. I got to get this haircut. Okay? But yeah. So, going into that point, if he's doing that with the Fox X-Men, then he could potentially do that with the Fox Fantastic Four as well. Meaning, it could be the Nip Tuck dude and that Doctor Doom, and he could play a lot of the variants, and we could do some crazy shit with Doctor Doom. I really want Doctor Doom to be a part of this. I would be incredibly disappointed if Doctor Doom wasn't a part of Secret Wars. I think that's a really dumb idea. It won't destroy it for me because they're obviously doing a lot of other incredible stuff that I'm really excited for, but it would be a major bummer, bro. Major bummer. So it'll ultimately come down to Doctor Strange allowing Wanda and Kang to create Battleworld like he did with Doom. That's an interesting idea. So he'll let Kang win. But he's not going to let the Council of Kangs win. You know what I mean? Yeah, that is interesting. There's something there. I think you're onto something there. I just have to, like, wrap my head around it. Because one of the other things they say is like, this is going to come down. This is something that Alex Perez has been teasing. Is it's going to come down to Steven versus Kang, ultimately, for the multiverse. And that's why I really think 616 is in charge of the Black Priests. Or will maybe even take control of them after the movie or whatever. But it's going to come down to Steven versus Kang. And I think like the choice is apparently risk the entire multiverse for free will and go with Steven, or be secure and kind of be overlorded by Kang and the councils forever. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of what they're teasing up as one of the final conflicts for the multiverse. I also think it's important to like keep all like take all this with a grain of salt, because like we're in the middle of these massive strikes and there are a lot of ideas on the whiteboards and they're rotating things around, and so there's a lot of different things they could probably do with it. Josh, which unannounced movies will play a big part in this stuff? Doctor Strange 3 and Shang-Chi 2. Maybe the Children's Crusade thing as well. But again, like, I'm just not super keen on that. Like, I don't know how you do that shit. Like, I damn sure don't want to repeat a Secret Invasion. Like, if you can't actually give me the goods of the Children's Crusade, don't do the Children's Crusade. You feel me? So, I'm kind of like, with that. It's also possible World War Hulk. If World War Hulk is actually multiversal, then, yeah, that could be crazy. Maybe Mephisto is replacing Doom. It's possible. It's possible, I suppose. They are giving a lot of play to Mephisto, apparently. You know? Apparently Mephisto is the person that bought Avengers Tower. Apparently Mephisto is trying to get the Hood to steal him Stark tech. I wouldn't be surprised if Mephisto is involved in making Kingpin the mayor of New York. The Mephisto bit is an interesting element to all of this. I don't know how it fits in. What if Mephisto is Doom? What? No. As in, it's not Mephisto at all. It's Doom. Why would Doom pretend to be Mephisto? Makes more sense for Doom to buy Stark Tower. Does it, though? The problem is we don't know anything about 616 Doctor Doom. I could see a scenario in which that makes sense. But I could also see a scenario in which Steven is so stubborn, or Victor is so stubborn and so self-assured that he's like, nah, fuck Tony Stark and all his shit. You know? I could see both. It's just we don't know. We don't know anything about 616 Doom. What's important about Stark Tower? Well, a couple of different things. I mean, Stark Tower, first of all, was the place that, like, that first alien invasion happened, right? With New York and Thanos, right? Stark Tower also probably just has a bunch of tech there. Yeah, I mean, Stark Tower is technically a place where you could, like, run the Avengers or an Avengers-like organization out of. You know what I mean? Hey, Josh, been watching a while and just got Prime. Don't do that. It won't let me downgrade. It says I have to pay again. Will it downgrade automatically? See you at New York Comic Con. I'm going to kill the Prime tier tomorrow on the Nerd Avenger stream. And I want to do that specifically because I want to see what happens to certain people. Like, not people, but like their memberships and whatever. So we'll kill that thing tomorrow. And I gotta be honest with you, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know. Mephisto is a Skrull god? I highly doubt that. Okay, guys, let's finish up with some Q&A. I'm gonna go back through and go over the super chats and the member chats and everything that's going on with that. And then we'll call it a day here, okay? And then we'll call it a day. I've got to figure out how to distill all of this speculation into like other videos and whatnot. So yeah, we'll figure it out. Hunting Dude says, I finally made it, Papa. Nerdvengers for life. Hell yeah, brother. Thanks, man. X Ace says, I've fallen so far off the wagon for Star Wars, I'm having trouble getting excited about one of my favorite characters. Ahsoka and her show makes me sad. I mean, I'll just tell you this, man. I think it makes sense. This isn't, we're not in the first inning here with Disney. We are like in the bottom of the ninth. And I can't blame you for feeling the way that you feel. All I can tell you is I genuinely feel this will be different. And I genuinely feel like Star Wars is about to have fresh life breathed into it by a cowboy hat wearing Yinzer. Nonetheless, what a world. The talented Mr. Griffin says, happy birthday to Trev and Liam. Nerdvengers for life. Valk over palms. Oh, shit, I like that. Valk over palms. Thanks, brother. Appreciate the love. And yeah, Trev's all right, I guess. Rosie, we went over that one. Aiden says, been a Nerdvenger for only 1 month, and my life has already benefited without any side effects. Highly recommend. Hey, thanks, Aiden. I appreciate it. Yeah, the Nerdvengers, man, we're a good group. You know what I mean? We're a good group, man. I really appreciate the community. And by the way, I want to say a couple of different things. I want to say, number one, I would like more people on the Discord. The Discord has been a lot more active this week, and I think that's been great. The Discord should be a place where we can keep the party going when the live streams are not on. It's going to be a place where this community can continue to talk shit, speculate, make jokes, post memes, and just talk about the nerdy shit that's going on as a community. So if you're a Nerdvenger member, maybe you already are on the Discord, but maybe you haven't been checking it out. It's been a lot more active recently, and I think that is absolutely dope. And also, total ADD moment, but how many of you here, just out of curiosity, how many of you guys that are in the chat right now, that are watching right now, how many of you have not seen the little teaser trailer that we made for my comic book? How many of you have not seen that? Throw a 1 into the chat if you have not seen the comic book little teaser trailer. Just out of curiosity. It's not 100% done. But how many of you have not seen it at all? Would you like to see it? Would you like to get a little tease of what the comic's about? Let's do that real quick, huh? That would be kind of fun. All right, so let's stop that. All right, let's see.
I was there when it happened.
Oh, shit.
Golden light beamed down from the sky, giving humanity a great gift. Suddenly, the world had superheroes. 6 months later, we had war. After just a few weeks, it became clear no one would win this war. The gifted would destroy the world. And so, the world leaders met and devised a plan. The Unity Corps was formed, and all gifted were forced to turn themselves in. But there was resistance, and that resistance looked like it might just destroy what was left of humanity. Then Then another golden miracle occurred. Midas, he called himself, an artificial being from another world. He said he was here to help, and help he did. All gifted were either imprisoned or recruited into the Unity Corps. Control was re-established and humanity was saved. It's been 30 years since the end of the war, and there has been peace. Until now.
It's not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Kind of cool, huh? Yeah. Been working on it for a while. I'm excited. What do you think? What's your feedback? All supers turned evil? No, it's not that all supers turned evil. It's that there was a world war where there were supers on the battlefield, and that shit did not go well. That's what it is. Yeah. So I'm thinking about launching it, man. I'm thinking about launching this thing on Monday. But I just don't know. But I just don't know. Are we ready? I'm ready to see my character die. Oh, hell yeah. Are we ready, though? I just don't know, you know? I can't tell. Is the world ready for Unity? I'm not sure. I am not sure. Okay, back to the Q&A. Dan Mitchell says, did you notice in the Ahsoka trailer, the Inquisitor cuts the head off the droid? Don't think he's on Thrawn's team, and I'm curious to see who he works for. Ooh, that is interesting. I had not noticed that. I'm not even sure if that's actually a real thing. I'll go back into the trailer later and look at it. But there could be something really cool with that Inquisitor. I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure, bro. But that's interesting. I will go back and look at that. Rosie says, I was told the lab I work for is closing permanently. I'm jobless now. Pros, I can watch more. Cons, less supers for you. I'll be in the chat still. Oh my gosh, Rosie, that's crazy. That's unfortunate, brother. Hope you land on your feet though. That kind of stuff is always crazy. So, damn. Thoughts and prayers with you, man, and just try to take it one day at a time, man. You'll bounce back. Big Guesses says, much love from down under, Papa J. Australia, mate. Throw a couple shrimps on the bobby. No, I'm gonna lose this. It's gonna go from like kind of funny to like super offensive like really fast. So I'm gonna stop. Hey, much love, Big Guesses. Appreciate you, man. Void of course says it's my birthday and I have COVID. Ugh. Marvel Snap is back with Conquest mode. Come back so I can play you again and win some more Funko Pops. Oh yeah, that would be pretty cool, huh? First of all, happy birthday to you. That's awesome. I hope you're having a good birthday. I want to return to Marvel Snap, but I need something to bring me back. I don't think Conquest mode is enough for me. I need something to bring me back, like an updated version of collecting. I don't know. I don't know what exact. I love Marvel Snap, and I think the fundamentals of that game are strong. I just don't enjoy the grinding, and I think the system for getting new cards is busted, and that's a huge part of the fun. So. Mike S. Hangout with a $10 hollow, very generous, says, thank you for explaining all of this. I'm still confused, but the Secret Wars that I know came from Spider-Man the Animated Series. Is that different? Yes, it's very different, but some of it is still, some of it is similar, but that was a fun version of Secret Wars as well. There's some stuff in there that I think will be adapted. The Exodus says, to me, time runs out and Secret Wars without Doom is like Flashpoint without Reverse Flash. Look how that went. I don't want Secret Wars just by name. That's absolutely fair, but I think that it's pretty clear that it's not just Secret Wars by name. It's obviously got a lot of stuff from even the Hickman stuff. And look, if they're doing the Black Priest, you can't just scoff at that and say, oh, but no Doom. Bro, are you kidding me? Dr. Doom was not a part of that fucking run until the very end, and then he was a big part of Secret Wars. So, I mean, while I agree that, like, no Dr. Doom is, like, not a good look, You can't just say, no, Doctor Doom, it doesn't make sense. There have been multiple versions of Secret Wars. I hope Doctor Doom is a part of it. I get your point, but no. Elijah says, in time of the strike, Disney doesn't need artists is not the message Corridor Crew was sending by using AI. The message is artists don't need Disney. Oh, I agree with that 100%, Elijah. It's a nuanced point to make, though, and like when people are really fucking mad, dude, like I don't know that the nuance is the way to go with it, right? But I got respect for those guys. They got some balls, I'll tell you that. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, like I've said to you guys many times, I use AI all the time. That trailer you just watched from my comic book, a lot of AI. The voice, AI. We took some of the comic book panels, we expanded them. This was Fernie. Fernie did a lot of this. We took some of the comic book panels, which are created by humans and awesome humans, and then we expanded them and did things to like help make this motion thing, and we used AI. Yeah, Adam says the logo texture was created with AI, and Adam made this logo. And by the way, I paid Adam as a human to make this logo. Okay? So it's not as cut and dry as like AI bad. And AI doesn't have to mean the death of human jobs or the death of human creativity. Duh. Jaybird Dynasty says, why no Marvel / DC... Wait, I lost it. Crossover in 20 years. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I think that in some ways the amalgam stuff was done because the industry was really hurting. Also, I don't think either of them... Maybe DC was owned by Warner Brothers at that time, but Marvel was not owned by Disney. And so it gets a little different when you have like much bigger corporations that are like owning these comic book companies. I just think the considerations are a bit different. That might have something to do with it. Adam, welcome to the Nerdvengers, baby. You are a Nerdvenger now. The Senate, I'll see you in New York, baby. Rosie says, is Mephisto the devil in Marvel or someone else? Mephisto is one of the devils. Mephisto's just like a demon, like... No, he's not Lucifer, if that's what you're thinking. But I do think it's kind of like... Mephisto might be the closest thing to the devil. I'm not really sure. What do you think, chat? Do you think Mephisto is the closest thing to, like, the Christian devil in Marvel Comics? Because it's like, I want to say no, but then he kind of is, bro. Because his son, isn't his son, what's that character? That's like the son of the devil? What about Nightmare? I mean, Nightmare's not. Yeah. There's a... I'm blanking on this character's name. Damien. Yeah. Damien's like literally the devil's son, I think, in Marvel Comics. Yeah. See, Alex is talking about it. Yeah. The son of Satan. So, I think there technically is a Satan, although I don't think it's like extrapolated out. Because there's like the old gods and some of that stuff with like Chthon and like a lot of that mythos is like really weird. Blackheart is, but Blackheart isn't. No, Blackheart's not the devil either. Interesting thought. Amelia says, it feels like everything is finally coming together as we get closer to Secret Wars. So much hype. More Road to Secret Wars videos? Yeah, I'm just waiting to make the next few, and it's been really weird. The next Road to Secret Wars video is going to have to be like, here's where everything changed, you know? Because things have really changed. But a lot of this stuff, I think, that's been in the works for some time. And again, this adaptation thing is so cool. Like, I'm very excited about it. The nerdy one says, I need more. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. Milk the Snake, very weird name, says, hey Josh, question for you. Which Marvel movie of the MCU really brought you in to follow the whole story of the MCU? Mine was Guardians. Oh, bro, I've been there since day one. Iron Man 1 I saw in theaters. Like opening day. I was in it. Yeah. Keaton House says, Ahsoka is the bottom of the ninth. Base is loaded. Full count down by a run. Strike and the game is over. Or are we going into the 10th inning? Exactly. Keaton Haas, I couldn't have said it better myself. That's exactly what it is. Thanks, man. Talented Mr. Griffin says, update on Unity Corp hoodie prototype. No, I don't have an update for you. I'll talk about it tomorrow on the Nerdventure stream. It's all like little things go wrong, you know? Little things go wrong. I'm going to talk more about this tomorrow because it's like the comic, like I'm so excited for Unity. I'm so excited to get that story out there, but there's a bunch of bullcrap that comes with it, right? And no, I don't have a prototype right now because they fucked it up. So, yeah. Vandalf the Black says, in the old Marvel universe, Mephisto is listed as a demon, but not above any of them, just powerful. He's not Hellstrom's father, but he is among the powerful, like Zarathos, etc. Worth a look. Yeah, I haven't looked at that stuff in a while, man. I remember looking into it around, well, I think after WandaVision, actually, because I was like, yo, Chthon, like, what's that? And, like, looking into all that. But, yeah, definitely some cool stuff. The second son of Mortis says, do you have a cool B-Day story before and after 21? So funny you're asking me this. Elise and I were just talking about this yesterday. I don't have a lot of birthday memories. I know I've had some kick-ass birthdays. And at some point, my birthdays became, like, one of the only days off I actually take in a year. But no, like I can't, like I don't know. I guess I've never been that like I haven't cared that much. You know, can we awaken them? I don't know. I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. I think I'll probably have more memories of like Liam's birthdays than like my own. So that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah. All right, everybody. I'm probably going to get out of here soon. Got to get to this hair appointment. Got to get a little lunch in me. Is there anything else on your mind? Anything else you want to talk about? Any other questions you have? Cottonmouth Kings? Dude, I remember the Cottonmouth Kings. Ain't no party like a cottonmouth party because a cottonmouth party don't stop. Mine's tomorrow, going to the jazz club. Damn, you fancy. Damn, you fancy, bruh. Did I see the Lex Luthor porn star rumors? Yeah, I saw those. They don't seem to be, accurate. I've seen some more interesting Lex Luthor rumors. What would you guys think of a Glenn Howerton? Dennis from Always Sunny. How would you feel about him being Lex Luthor? Leah, welcome back to the Nerd Avengers. Appreciate you. How awesome will Ahsoka be? I think pretty awesome, bro. Him for Reed? I could see him as Doctor Doom more than I could see Reed. Dennis is kind of villainous in that show, bro. These leaks have been hella hype, bro. Oh, yeah. I'm excited too, man. Him for the Thing? What? What? Show a pic of him. You guys don't know who Glenn Howerton is? Glenn Howerton shares Lex Luthor fan art. Fans now want him to play Superman. Or, fans now want him in Superman Legacy. You guys don't watch Always Sunny? What? Apparently in Blackberry, he's pretty savage. Hang on.
Man, look. This is about much more than just... I'm not what?
Dude, clearly you were floundering.
Mac, I was gathering information so that I can more fully become this man. Look. This is about much more than just business. This is about the thrill of wearing another man's skin, feeling his innermost wants and desires, and being in control of his every single move. That's how you get off. Now, don't you guys want to get off with me?
I don't know.
What?
I want you to get off with me.
Okay.
Just follow my lead, guys. We're gonna get off together.
That's Lex Luthor if I've ever... I mean, come on, guys. That's Lex Luthor. 100%. 100%. We just finished... Elise and I just went through Always Sunny. All of it. We're current, 100%. Oh, it's so good, bro. So good! And the most recent episode... Oh, that's just a GIF. The most recent episode, which was essentially... him taking a mental health day. Oh my god. Instant classic. You got to see that. Amazing. Incredible. Frank vs. Russia is so good. Yeah. You listen to Always Sunny podcast? I do not. I actually have never listened to the podcast. Is it pretty good? Is it decent? The dentist system is great. Yeah. Is it? Thanks, Mikkel. Appreciate that. People always say I act like Charlie Day. I think that's why I don't watch. Oh, what? Charlie's awesome. Charlie's great. They get completely blackout drunk in one podcast? Oh, okay. To check that out. They're live taping in Philly next month? What? That's cool. Yeah, Charlie's awesome, man. What a good show. What a good show. All right, everybody. We're going to get on out here. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thanks for letting me nerd out about all this crazy stuff with the leaks and whatnot. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. And, videos coming out the rest of the week. Tomorrow we got a big Nerd Avengers stream. We should have a big stream on Friday as well. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Yea, though we walk through the valley of the shadow of Disney Plus, we shall fear no Bob Iger. For Feige is with us. Hopefully? Yeah, man. It's gonna be alright. It's going to be alright. Ahsoka next week. Rebel Moon trailer next week. And then Loki season 2 after that. Remember, open up your third eye and wash out your stinky butt hole. I'll see you later.